It's hard to find a similar case in the history of world crime. Considered one of the mysterious cases in Japan. The bizarre death of the victim scares anyone who hears about it. The strangeness of the case caused the Japanese police to hastily conclude the case. Clues about the murderer will be revealed shortly. And the case I'm talking about today is the dead body in the toilet in Japan case. Discovery of the body. On a day at the end of February in '89, a young 23-year-old teacher, working at an elementary school in Fukushima Prefecture, Japan, returned to her dormitory. Like any other day, she began preparing for rest. The toilet here still used the squat toilet system, a traditional style of Japan. When she sat down, she inadvertently saw a shoe. It was a strange shoe that did not belong to her. She decided to check if anything was unusual. She ran over to the manhole cover and looked down. It was not just a shoe. It was the leg of a man. Terrified, she quickly called the police. When the police arrived at the scene, they quickly cordoned off the area and confirmed that it was the leg of a man. The first responders tried to pull the man's leg out of the toilet, but were unsuccessful due to the narrow space in the pipe. Realizing the emergency situation, the police decided to mobilize the fire brigade to the scene. They used specialized machinery to destroy the pipe before they could bring the victim's body outside. Cause of death. First of all, we need to clarify a question. How did Naoyuki Shigano, 26 years old, the victim of the case, have an accident or was killed? What's special about this case is the victim's posture when found. This man, although dead, his body lay in an extremely strange and incomprehensible posture. The incident occurred in February, a time when the weather in Japan was very cold. However, this man was not wearing a shirt. Instead, he hugged his shirt, neatly folded, in front of his chest. This makes one wonder if he was forced to take off his shirt. The lower part of his body was still wearing pants, indicating that he was not completely naked. His knees were bent, as if he was trying to protect himself. The last and also the strangest thing is his face. His face tilted slightly to the left, as if he was looking in that direction when he died. Case guesses. The police believe that Naoyuki was a pervert who liked to peep at women. However, there is no reason for him to crawl into a toilet pipe to peep, unless he has another obsession with waste, such as feces, urine. If Naoyuki intended to wait in the conduit, it would take at least a few hours, but when leaving the house, he did not reveal that this outing would take a long time. He just lightly said, "I go out." The car parked in the parking lot did not bother to pull the key. These clues only show for fleeting behaviors, not waiting for the target to appear. Finally, Naoyuki's shoe was found a few hundred meters from the scene, near the river. This leads to the hypothesis that Naoyuki had been murdered. Could it be that Naoyuki was avoiding some threat, that had to crawl into the tunnel and unfortunately got killed? When determining this case as a murder case, there are some suspicions that need to be answered. How could the murderer put Naoyuki into the toilet pipe? What is the motive of the murderer? Who is the identity of the murderer? The police believe that the narrow pipe and difficult to enter, if not based on the will of the victim himself. When police found his body stuck in the pipe, they tried their best to pull the victim's body out, but failed, so they had to dig up the entire pipe with an excavator. When police found the body, Now Yuki had been dead for dozens of hours, and his body had become stiff due to cold weather, making it difficult to pull out. However, when now Yuki was alive, it is unclear whether the pipe was really inaccessible, so that he could not escape. According to the conclusion of Japanese police, the cause of death of the victim, Naoyuki Ogino, is believed to be accidental. They believe that he broke into the toilet to peep, but could not escape due to too narrow space. Due to cold weather in February, he died of cold. Some people do not believe in this hypothesis, and believe that there may be other interventions. There may be other details in the case that police have not discovered or announced. Therefore, the real cause of death of the victim is still a mystery. Reconstructing the case. In fact, at the time the case was discovered, images and articles on the internet had magnified the size of the corpse to create a creepy atmosphere. To better understand the scene, we can reconsider with accurate ratios. Naoyuki Shigano, with a height of 1.7 meters and a length of the upper body of about 93 centimeters, could adjust his posture in a narrow space. Although his shoulders were 40 centimeters wide, he could still enter a 36 centimeters lens by folding his arms in front of his chest, so putting him in a toilet pipe is not impossible. According to forensic science, Naoyuki did not suffer many injuries, only a few scratches at the joints. This suggests that he may not have resisted or was unconscious when stuffed in. Naoyuki could climb out of the pipe with a slight adjustment, but waking up in a confined space, he could not orient himself where he was and just tried to search for where there was light. Unfortunately, this light happened to be at the exit of the pipe in front of him, and he could only try his best to allow himself to crawl forward. However, the toilet mouth was only 20 centimeters in diameter, and he could not escape. During this time, Naoyuki lost temperature in the cold, might feel himself getting hotter due to lowering body temperature, so he had to take off his shirt. In fact, the diameter of the pipe where the victim's upper body lay had reached 47 centimeters, enough for the victim to complete the action of undressing. It can be imagined that he must have cried for help for a long time in this desperate situation. Although there are still many suspicious details, the police have closed this case after all. There are some details in the dead body in the toilet in Japan case that make people in the area suspicious. 1. Victim's posture. This man died in an extremely strange posture. He was not wearing a shirt, but hugging his neatly folded shirt in front of his chest. This makes people suspect whether there is intervention from others. 2. Victim's location. This man was found in the toilet, a very narrow and difficult place to crawl into. This makes people wonder how a 1.7 meters tall person could crawl in there. 3. Time of body discovery. This person had died earlier, but was only discovered 4 days later. 4. Police conclusion. The police concluded that this was an accident. The victim had broken into the toilet to peep, but could not escape due to being too narrow, and then died of cold. However, some people do not believe in this hypothesis and believe that there may be other interventions. All of these details raise many unanswered questions, and make this case one of the great mysteries of Japanese crime history. If you know more information about this case, please comment below to let me know.